Hey there folks. So at this point I have this top down character and you can see he has some really kind of cool little dash animation that he does. Now what I want to do here is I want to give him the ability to basically be invincible, immune while he's dashing. And this is very similar to the kind of things that you would see in a game like Dark Souls, where maybe during an animation, for certain frames of that animation, I am invincible, hence iframes. So how would we go about doing that? Well, we've already looked at how we can have particular events that happen on our character, and we've done that with these animation notifiers. Now, if we remember, next to the animation notifiers, there was also something called an animation notify state. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use one of those animation notify states to, rather than just saying, let's fire one event, let's have an event that has a particular duration assigned to it. And in this instance, we're going to use that to create an invincibility state for my character. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and again what we could do, and I'll show you in this, let's go and find our top-down hunter. We're going to go find his flip book and obviously think about all these little dashing elements that we could do. One of the things that I could do here is obviously I could set this up to say, well, during this animation, let's go and have a look at his animation sequences. We could say during the dash, let's add a notify in here and say, okay, at this point, you are, with this notify, you are now invincible. We could do it right at the start, and again this is fine. You know, in this logic we could say right at the start you're invincible, and on the override, when the override finishes, or on the notify end, or whenever the dashing, the logic finishes, because if you go and have a look at this, when we reset our dash timer, maybe we set ourselves to not be invincible anymore. But what about if it was something a bit more kind of time related? So if I go look at this gunslinger character, this gunslinger character's got a whole bunch of different animations that he can do. One of them is this roll. So maybe I want to say that when he's rolling, that this point here on this frame, this is when he is immune, and he's immune till this point. And you can see here we've still got 2 more frames of him coming out of that roll. So maybe just for these couple of frames, this is when he's immune while he's doing the roll. Well, that's not going to really be possible for me to do unless I had multiple notifiers to say start it and end it. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to look at adding in something, and it's going to be a notify state. And you can see I can add in notify states for timed Niagaras, timed particles, but I can't really add in a new notify, like a notify state, like I can here with the default notify. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one just as I did with this notify earlier. So I'm going to go back to my notifies folder. I'm going to right click, go blueprint class, and down here I'm going to type in notify. And as I mentioned before, anim notify and anim notify state, they're the ones that are going to work in your 3D. So if you can get this working in 2D, you can get this working in 3D. We're going to look at our ZD animation notify base. Well, that one is the one that obviously controls all the paper ZD ones. So the ZD anim notify is the single firing one. And we're going to look for one here, the anim notify state. You can see the 2 that we just saw as defaults that are already made. So let's add one of these in. And I'm going to call this ANS for animation notify state. And we'll call this one, let's go with dodge just for now. And the first thing that you will notice with the difference here is that rather than having one exclamation mark symbol, it actually has like a little time-based bubble that indicates that this is a state rather than a single firing notify. So let's save that. And what we're going to do is we're going to open that up and look at the differences. Now the first thing that we're going to notice is rather than functions 2, we're going to see functions 4. And the functions that are there, we have got the get display name, which again is just useful for just if you want to get the name of this, but we have a beginning and an end, and also a tick. So that's going to be logic that's going to keep on firing every single frame in between the beginning and the end. So I'm going to add in a beginning, and I'm going to add in an end, and you're going to see these are very similar to the things that we had with our other notifies, where they had an on notify start, except that obviously this has 2 points. Well, why does that matter? How does that work? Let's go back to this dashing thing here, and let's have a look at what we can do. We can go right click and go to notify state, and now we should see our notify state is visible, and we add it in, and now rather than 1 point, we have 2. So I can say that this lasts for the whole duration of this, and I always try to give it just a little bit of time just so it can come in and out of these, but just between these 2 frames here, and this is where maybe that roll animation is going to be a much nicer one, or maybe we go into the little animations and we set up the duration of these, so it's not just, if we go and have a look at that, rather than it just being a 1 and 2 flash, maybe each of these is like a 2 and 2, so it's a slower kind of flashing animation. Or maybe you edit this and you add 2 new members, so you can make it flash as many times as you need. So you could say, let's add 2 new members and reproduce the blue and yellow, or whatever it needs to be with that dashing. Obviously with the roll has very particular animations and frames that it uses. So yeah, you could slow this down, you could come back into here, and now when we're looking at that ZD source, you'll see there's a starting point and there's an end point. Well, that starting point there, that relates to on notify begin, and the end point relates to on notify end. And obviously the tick is going to be firing all during the in-between bit. So what can we actually do with this? What can we use this for? Well, as we've said before, we could say, well, let's get our owning instance, let's get the owning actor, and we could communicate with those. Well, I might need to cast to this hunter. I might need to put this and say, what kind of thing are you? How do I actually pass a message of invincibility or dodging to something if I don't know what that thing is? I'm going to put it on the hunter here, but what if it was on like the side scroller character with their rolling? Well, again, that's where our interfaces are going to come in handy. And we already have an interface in here. So if I go to my BPI underscore actions interface and open that up, let's add in a new one, which is going to be I underscore, and we'll go with dodge effect. And this dodge effect, I'm not just going to leave it as just the input this time. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do it with an input where we can pass through whether it is beginning or not, or you could put start. You can even put a question mark in there, and this will just basically be a boolean that determines true or false, yes or no, is this starting? Because obviously if it's not starting, then it's ending. And that's really great for us because invincibility has only got 2 states it can be in. It's either on or it's off. Okay, so what do we do now? Let's go back to our animation notify state. We've already got this get owning actor, and I'm just going to put in a good old is valid node just to make sure. We don't really need it when we're working with the interfaces, but it's just good practice to get into the habit of saying, okay, well, if I'm checking an actor object reference, let's just make sure we just check it's valid before we do anything to it, just in case we've deleted it or removed it or something. And I'm going to pass it a message, and we'll do our I underscore, and in this case, dodge effect. Now you should be able to see that this dodge effect, not only does it call the dodge effect with the message, but it also has that boolean that we've just set up. So this is where we can now start using this to pass a message through. And in this case, this is the begin, so we can tick that. And I can actually just take everything we've just done here, copy it, go into our end, and I'm going to paste it. And the reason for that is because the only thing that's going to change in this end one is that that is now a false, because when we end, we are not beginning. So this is going to pass through true and false quite easily for me. Now, let's go back to our character now. So here's my top-down ZD character. We already have the interface because we've already been doing our attacks and things. And now we have our dodge effect inside the interface. Because we added it into this interface here, it becomes an event in the interface here. So I'm going to implement an event using it. And you'll see that again, we've got this boolean that says begin. And all I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to print string, and I'm going to take that value and I'm just going to print it out. So hopefully what this will be telling me is true or false, whether I am invincible or not. So let's go and check that out. So I'm here now and we're in our game. And what we can see is that obviously we've got the printing for our primary attack effect. And if I were to press the button to dodge, so press spacebar, you can see it says true and then false. So that is allowing me to basically make my character invincible if it's true and not invincible if it's false. Now, just to test that out and make sure that you can definitely see what I mean by that and see that that's definitely working, let's actually make that logic functional for us. So rather than just printing the string out, let's create a very simple variable that just says, is my character invincible? So is invincible. Now I know we can come in here and start using some actor tags and stuff to improve this, but for now, if you're just getting started, a bunch of booleans is going to be fine for you. And we're going to say, let's set ourselves to be invincible. Well, we know that when this begins, it's true, and when it ends, it's false. So we can just use that boolean value that we just created, and that is all we're going to need. Because when this dodge effect starts, we are invincible, and when we're exiting it when we're saying false, we're no longer invincible, which means we can reuse this this animation notify system through any other kind of effects. Maybe we want to use this inside of other attacks. So while we're doing an attack, we can't be hurt because we're invincible during that duration. Now, obviously, if I test this out right now, I'm not going to see anything. It just says dodge. So how do we actually view that? One of the things that I like to do, I don't really use event tick for many things because I like to kind of obviously improve the performance of our logic. But what I could do is I could just take this is invincible, and I am just going to print string just to print this out onto the screen just to show you. I'm going to add a key to this, and we'll go with this one being invincible, which means rather than printing out the same logic to the screen every single frame, it's basically going to look and say, is there already a print string that's happening with this key assigned to it? If there is, just replace it. And let's test that out. So every single frame, false. If I press true, you can see my dodge, you can see it does flash to true. And if we go and have a look down here in our output log, what we should be able to see is as we are moving around, so here you can see false, for this duration here, it went to true. So I dodged, and for the very first point of that dodge, so you think about it, we pressed dodge for the very first frame that it ran, which because we're not right at the start, for the very first frame after we pressed it, we were false, but then during our dodge, we were true, and then we reset back again. Now, what can we use that for? Well, I haven't really done any kind of logic just yet for us with our kind of damage systems, but if you're setting up a damage system, which we might do in the future, for example, event any damage, the very first check that I could do with this before I say let's take this damage, let's start applying it to our character, could just literally be let's get our invincible, and let's just say if we are not invincible, then let's do our logic. Yeah, so we can say if we're going to take some damage, first of all, let's just check that we're not invincible, because if we are invincible, then we shouldn't take any damage. So if we could put in a print string here and just say ouch, whereas this one here, this one would be saying nope, you are invincible. So we could obviously use that to determine whether we should be getting hurt or whether we could just shrug this off. And obviously you could use this now to have other effects and other things that happen to let the player know. Maybe it highlights their shield or flashes their shield or something. Maybe it makes the projectiles or the effects, trigger and bounce off of them, or trigger some kind of extra particle effect in the world. But this allows me to do something that happens for a particular amount of frames. You can use this in any of these now because we've obviously used this for something very kind of modular with our interfaces. So again, if I was looking at that gunslinger and I was to go and have a look in his kind of animation source, you can see I've got quite a few of the examples here, and I could do the exact same thing in here. So I could go, let's add in an animation notify state. And where does that start? Well, I could put this so that it starts here. This is the point that he goes into this role, and then this is the point that he comes out. So at this point to this point, he would be invincible. Obviously, I've got to put the interface onto that character, but this allows me to reuse that animation notify state as many times as I want, which is a very, very good and very common, easy way for us to make simple iframe systems for our characters to avoid damage while moving, attacking, and so on. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing to access more of my Unreal Engine content.